Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
On our media line, it's our Rise Up Reidsville program, and I'm talking to Police Chief Robert Hassell. Chief, hello, and Happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year to you as well.
It's good to have you on the program. Get started off right here with the police chief. You have several things to talk about. First, the Lock It or Lose It campaign on today's program.
Yes, sir. I wanted to really just take this opportunity to give an update to all of your listeners about our Lock It or Lose It campaign, which started back in the summer of 2019. But before I even give you the information on the program, the Lock It and Lose It campaign came about because of the increase in motor vehicle thefts within our city. Mm-hmm. And we were looking at data going back to 2017, 18, and then that year in 19, that the number of thefts was going up. And what we saw was in 17, 28 motor vehicle thefts. Then in 2018, we saw an increase up to 48, which was alarming. Yeah. And then in 2019, it jumped to 70 motor vehicle thefts within the city. And what we were seeing, Mr. Moore, was many of the thefts were vehicles there was no signs of forced entry, meaning the vehicles were unlocked. Mm-hmm. And that was over half of the vehicles. And in many of those vehicles, some of them, the keys were inside the vehicle.
Oh, gee.
So we had to figure out a way to help, curb these numbers in the downward direction. So we came up with the Lock It or Lose It campaign, where we really was promoting individuals and our citizens and visitors that come to our city to lock your doors on your vehicle when you get home or when you're in the parking lots of, different shopping centers. And then we even went further to say, when you're home and you got your car locked, don't leave your garage doors up. Make sure your doors in your house are locked, your windows are secured. Just take those simple precautions in securing your property to help prevent yourself from becoming a victim of someone walking around our parking lots or in our neighborhoods just checking doors to find a door unlocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what we saw then in 2020, we saw a decline to 59 thefts. Still, I don't like that number. I wish we had no thefts of motor vehicles, but it is a significant drop from the previous year. Mm-hmm. So we're saying we think all of the help our citizens within Reidsville are doing to be cautious, making sure they lock their car doors, not leave keys inside and valuables, making sure, they're doing the simple things to prevent themselves from becoming a victim is helping.
Definitely,
so,
yeah.
And what else what we did with this campaign to try to get the word out to the public, was we put out a lot of signs in different areas of the city where we were seeing increases of these thefts. And basically what the name of the campaign is, Lock It or Lose It. Mm-hmm. So we put those out in key locations through the city, and then we did a media blast on all our social media accounts to get the word out in the public. And we even did an interview on television talking about this campaign and how the public can help us get these numbers under control and hopefully start to see them go down. And in 2020, we saw those numbers drop. Mm-hmm. And we're hoping the public will help us to continue our efforts in 2021.
Well, I commend you on that, and I know we talked a little bit about it, too, over the year. And, it's almost leave your car unlocked and the keys in the ignition. You might as well put a sign on the car that says, I'm yours, just take me, drive off now. Yeah, we need to have some common sense about this, folks.
Well, you're exactly right, Mr. Moore. But it was alarming to me when my investigators, because each one of these incidents we assign it to an investigator, mm-hmm. and and they report back to me the statistics and what they find on these cases, and it was just alarming to hear that many of them was unlocked.
Yeah.
And then they said, well, Chief, even a lot of them had keys in the car.
Yeah.
So, it was almost like, I'm not going to say, I don't think no citizen wants to be a victim of a crime. So I'm just only saying to our citizens, please let's just be careful. If we have those habits of leaving keys in the car to make it more convenient in the mornings or whatever, let's don't do that.
No, okay.
Let's just be cautious and lock the doors.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see that that number go down even more this year with that Lock It or Lose It campaign continuing. I was talking. Go ahead, Chief.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to add. We're even seeing this is. I think this is a situation of we get in a rush. I think in society today, we're rushing from one place to the next. We're at work. We're on lunch break, so we have a very small amount of time. So we rush to get to the gas station, get some gas real quick, or get something we're going to pick up to get back to where we're going. Many times we also are seeing vehicles left running or at the gas pump.
Oh, yeah.
And we have seen, theft there in some locations. So we also reminded individuals that, it's against the law to leave your vehicle unattended at gas stations. Mm-hmm. So all of that helped us with this, to make this campaign a success. And helping us see these numbers go down. And I'm sorry I interrupted you. So what were you going to say, Mr. Moore?
No. You're the it's your program. But so what you say always trumps me for sure. But I'm thinking here we are in the winter months, and how often you see people run, leave their car running. They go out and turn the heat on, then they run inside to get warm or finish eating breakfast or whatever. Boy, that sees a lot of car theft too, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. You're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head, sir.
Yeah.
And many people are unfortunate. They'll say they have a garage. So you're right. They go outside a little early, and they start those cars. Mm-hmm. So and that's an opportunity for someone who is walking through the neighborhood, just looking for an easy target.
Yeah.
So you're exactly right. That's a practice that we need to stop. If you're going to go out and start the car, you need to stay outside with the car to ensure that, no one is going to come by and take it. Or unless you have a feature on your car where you can lock the door, in your driveway, you're trying to get it warmed up and get it, everything circulated in the car before you leave for work.
Mm-hmm, yeah. But I live in a good neighborhood, and nothing like that would happen. No one would do that, steal my car, but it happens all the time. They're opportunists always looking for that situation, aren't they?
Yes, sir. We've seen, we'll be investigating a situation of a theft from a car, let's say in a shopping center parking lot. And it is not a surprise to our officers and investigators when they're looking at the video footage, you'll see someone going through the parking lot pulling on handles.
Oh, really? Wow.
They'll just go pull on handles, and many times these are individuals looking for change. They're looking for valuables that's left in the car, like GPS units that sometimes we see individuals will put up on the windshield or on the dashboard,
yeah,
or any kind of valuables in the front seat or the back seat. So that's why we always encourage the public to take these valuables with you. Make sure if you have something you have to leave in the car, make sure you secure it by locking it up in the trunk. Just don't leave anything of value out plainly in the car. And then, of course, always lock the door when you leave your vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All righty. Thank you for that good information. Littering and illegal dumping continues to be a problem, doesn't it, Chief?
Yes, sir. I love Reedsville. I love Reedsville. I know a lot of our citizens, majority of our citizens, we love our city. And we want to make sure that when people come visit our city, they will love it, they will fall in love with it, and see the beauty in our city like we who live here see it. Mm-hmm. So it is disheartening when we, my officers and I, we ride around and we see litter. And I know it's not just us. I know we have some citizens who will call in periodically and let us know, hey, Chief, we're seeing litter on our street. What can you do about it? So that is when, probably a year or so ago, a little over a year, we started our littering enforcement campaign. And many of our listeners may have seen this, but it'll be a sign, like a blue and white sign that has littering enforcement area on it with the police patch. And you'll see that at the beginning and end of, let's say, a block or a whole, many blocks or street or within a street, where we have officers sitting there watching for littering. People throwing trash out the window. That could be anything from throwing out a cigarette butt, a cup from a local restaurant or fast food restaurant. Anything that flies out that window, if you intentionally done it, that is littering, and that is against the law. And we have officers in certain areas, if they see that, they will stop the vehicle and they will charge the individual, which comes with a very healthy fine.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking, I wanted to bring this up because I really would like our citizens and all our listeners to know, not just here in Reedsville, but wherever you live, please make sure we don't litter. Throw anything out the window. Make sure our children who may be in the back seat eating some snack or something, make sure if the window is down, if you have it down for them to get circulate some air through the car, make sure they understand it's wrong to throw trash out the window, because it doesn't make our streets look good, and no one wants that.
No, and it is a pretty hefty fine, I know, in the county for littering if you're caught illegal dumping and things like that, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. It can be up to a $1,000 fine.
Wow. And
we have charged individuals for illegal dumping within our city. And we're going to continue to, if we see it, if we see violations, we're going to charge the individual, and we're going to see it all the way through to the court, because we want to do our part as law enforcement to make sure if we see violations, we deal with it, with all the other variety of things we may have to deal with throughout the day. And this is one of them. And I know sometimes people say, well, Chief, isn't there bigger things that you could be working on? There's a lot of things we could be working on. But this is one of those many things that we are tasked, we are obligated to ensure that if we see violations, we deal with. So I'm just asking our listeners, the general public, that let's do our part. If we see littering, if we see someone do something and we may know who it may be, you can anonymously report that. You don't have to give us your name. Just report it to us, and we will do our best to investigate. If you see someone illegally dumping things on someone else's property, we ask you to report that, because there have been times we will have individuals who will dump things in front of someone's house, maybe a neighbor down the street, and that's not legal. So if you see these things, report it to either Crime Stoppers, or you can call our non-emergency number here at the police department, which is 336-349-1010. And you can talk to one of our staff through the day, and we will make sure we investigate that. Just give us all the information you have, we will look into it. We don't want you to have to go approach a neighbor or someone in your neighborhood. Let my staff do that for you, because, again, I'm going to go back. I love Reedsville. I'm a resident in Reedsville. I've been here for over 6 years. This is my city, and it's my home. And I don't want to see our neighborhoods looking bad because someone is throwing trash or litter out the window of a car or illegally dumping trash on the street. No,
we've always got to put our best foot forward. And new people coming into our community all the time, moving here, new businesses locating here. And we certainly want to look our best for everyone, even our people that live here, for sure.
You're exactly right, sir, and which leads me to this last point on this. And I've kind of taken more time than I was thinking, but, we have community service workers. These are individuals who may have strayed off the path and committed some offense, and the courts have said that, hey, you got to do 24 hours or 50 hours or 100 hours of community service. Well, the police department is one of those agencies who the court or the person in the community service specialist can assign them to come do their hours. So what we have done is we've already had the litter enforcement signs that we put up, and we try to identify those who are littering. But we now, our community service coordinator will make sure we have workers scheduled to come to the city. We'll make sure one of our staff will have pre-selected streets that we've already identified, or a citizen has given us a street that needs attention. We will arrange, we give the community service worker the tools they need, and of course, the stick and the the hand stick to pick up the trash, the gloves, the bag to put the trash in, the reflective vest, and we will place them in on a street somewhere to pick up trash.
Okay.
That is people who have been assigned community service hours. So it's pretty much them giving back to our community, and at the same time helping make our streets look more beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all need to do our part. It makes me think too, Chief, when our kids see us, the adults, littering and not really taking care of things. It's kind of it goes in a cycle. So we need to be a good example for our children as well.
You're exactly right, sir.
Yeah.
Be that change by being that example for those looking at us.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'm on your Facebook page right now, Reidsville Police Department. Lots of good information there, so I want people to follow that and keep up to the minute because you're really good at keeping that current and posting pictures and news and all of that. I'm kind of going through here now, and I appreciate what you do on the Reidsville Police Department Facebook page, Chief.
Yes. Well, thank you, sir. I really glad that you've noticed that. We have a media specialist who puts a lot of great information out to the public. That's part of our department being transparent, making sure the citizens know what we are doing to make our city safer, the things that we're doing to help encourage a better quality of life for all our citizens and those who visit Reidsville. So, yes, you're right. Visit our webpage, visit our Facebook, Twitter accounts regularly. I'm sure there'll be something that you may find of interest.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Well, I appreciate all the good information. And in February, you'll be talking about scams because there's a lot you have to share with us. They seem to continue to grow, and those scammers get smarter and smarter, don't they?
Yes, sir, they do. And I hope next month we have a lot of listeners that will tune in because that is still an issue within our community and other communities. People just trying to scam you out of your hard-earned money.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our topic in February. Chief, all the best to you and your department in 2021. I hope it's a great year for you, sir.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Mr. Moore, for all you do. And again, Happy New Year to you and all the listeners.
Okay, all the best to you. And will you make a New Year's resolution to call me Mike this year? Mr. Moore is a little too formal. Please, Chief.
I'm going to try, sir. It may be Mr. Mike then.
Okay, either one. That's fine. Always good to talk to you. Thank you, sir. Have a good week. All right, bye. That's Reidsville Police Chief Robert Hassell, our monthly program. And it's sponsored by That Little Pork Shop on Monroe Street in downtown Eden. I was in That Little Pork Shop today. Donna and her team there. Oh, my goodness. The food is great, and she was busy, too. That was about lunchtime. You can check out her menu. There's a new menu and the hours and all of that on her Facebook page, That Little Pork Shop. That's on Monroe Street in uptown Eden. Also, she is one of our sponsors of the Birthday Club now on our Rockingham County Today newscast every morning. So tune into that, and she'll be one of the giveaways on that, and let us know about those upcoming birthdays. I don't want to take up the Chief's time on that, but thanks to the Chief for the information, and thanks to you for listening. Please check out the website, riseupreadsville.com, for more information about what's happening around the city of Reidsville.